Good morning, everybody. Thanks for jumping on with me. Today, we are super excited to be able to share with you the 10 steps to success. It is absolutely an amazing series that we've been going through. We've learned so much so far. And today, we are excited to share step number 7. Now, this is one of the most important steps, right? They're all important, I gotta say. I mean, everything, kind of bases on the previous steps, right? Or is, dependent on the previous steps. So once you've gotten your why defined, once you've started to create your list and, build your team and decide who's going to be your leaders and all that, and setting your goals and deciding that you're committed, that you're going to do this, you started to do your personal development and you decided to be connected, right? You jump on all the Zoom calls, you go to all the meetings and you plug in everything. Now it's time to really start inviting. Okay. And if you can master this skill, I mean, this is what they pay us for. That's why, if you've ever done an Eric Worre training, that's one of the things he talks about in his Go Pro book is, companies will pay you a lot of money to go out and invite, right? To bring people to the table, to bring people to the opportunity. So that's what we're talking about tonight. We are talking about inviting and learning the skills that we're going to need so that we can actually make sure that, when we talk to people, they decide to come in. So let's go ahead and talk about mindset. That's the first thing. Okay. So the first skill is all about having a mental fortitude, I guess is the best way to say it, right? Where you're not going to be emotionally affected by the result. If you have anxiety about rejection, even before starting, you're going to bring that anxiety to your reality and you will feel rejected at the very first no, right? We can't do that. And if we're anxious, we tend to not take action and we'll just want to stay in our comfort zone, right? Which is familiar and safe and all that, which is basically called inactivity. That's what happens. So it really does require that we become an effective communicator, that we become skilled in asking questions in sequence, but without anxiety, without guilt, without fear, without being aggressive, right? So we can determine if the person qualifies for our time, our products, and our attention, because that's really what it comes down to, okay? I like to say, we have the cookie, we have the solution, we have the answer. And so if people reject us, it's just because they don't have enough information yet. They don't understand how this can benefit them. They just, they're maybe just quite not ready yet, right? But it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with the opportunity. It has nothing to do with the offer. It has everything to do with them and where they're at in their life, right? So if we can do that, if we can understand, what? It's not about us. We don't have to be affected. They're not rejecting us as a person. They're just rejecting the offer, right? That's it. So if we can do that and have, build that shield around our mental well-being with our mindset and understand, hey, you know what? I have the answer. And so if you don't want it, well, that's too bad for you, right? Not for me. Okay. That's the first thing, is just building up that mindset. Okay. Then the other thing is to make sure that we have a culture of service, right? Because, it's one thing to realize, hey, we have the cookie and everything, but it also needs to be coupled with this idea that we're actually trying to help, right? We're actually trying to benefit people. We're actually trying to help them and make their life better. We're not doing this to, so we can go become millionaires, right? At the cost of other people, right? We're not leeches. We're not parasites, right? We are actually trying to help, okay? So one thing, though, it's super important because of the first thing I just talked about is the reason you're probably not successful so far, if you're not having success, and maybe you are, right? And that's great. But if you're not, it's probably because you're not inviting every single day. Every single day. That's what it takes, okay? But when we do invite, we got to look for people that we're going to actually help, right? We have a solution to their problems. We have the cookie, all right? True leadership must be for the benefit of the followers, not to enrich the leader. John Maxwell taught that. Okay. So we need to ask questions like, hey, how are you? Right? How are you doing? Like, seriously. We need to be serious about how how they're able to improve, right? If they're interested in improving their health or their finances or whatever it is, okay? We don't need to stress or panic. We just find that balance. We stay present, and more than anything, we just relax, okay? Let go of our fears, our anxiety, and we just talk one prospect at a time. And even if the results are not favorable, right? Doesn't matter. It's not because we made a mistake, okay? It was only one. And either you or the company is going to go bankrupt because somebody said no, right? Don't worry about that. Don't fall into the superstar syndrome. Don't think that you have to recruit every single person that you talk to. The world is full of great prospects, and it is your responsibility to attract them, okay? So if we can remember that, it's all about service and benefiting them. Now it's going to be easier because they're going to see that. They're going to hear it in your voice, right? They're going to say, oh, wow, this person actually interested in me and they actually want to help me. Okay. Now, here's the other thing that's important. When dealing with rejection, there's a great difference between objection and rejection. People will tell you that they do not have money, that they have to think about it, they need to ask someone else for permission. These are objections that you must learn to handle, right? You just know how to ask the right question. Remember, most people can't decide. They're not good at making decisions, right? So, changing your life and your finances represents a contradiction in their life because success is contrary to their problem, right? They're not used to it. They're not used to having success. So of course it's going to feel weird, okay? So you have to ask that series of questions to find the real reason they can't decide. And if they can't decide, very diplomatically, you just let it go, okay? And if you think they deserve a follow-up, great. You follow up with them, right? If they don't qualify, just give them your phone number, tell them to call you later when they're ready, okay? So don't take any kind of rejection as anything personal because it's not, okay? And if it is just total rejection, that's on them. But if it's an objection, then yeah, we can solve that by finding, diving deep and finding out what it is, right? That's bugging them, okay? All right, so we can use some of these magic questions, right? So for example, if we're going to go and talk to somebody, very simply, hey, you know what? I'm working with a lot of other professionals that have learned how to diversify from what they're doing and add substantially to their income portfolio. Might something like that be of interest to you? Or, hey, if there was a way you could travel more, have fun, and make money in the process, would you at least want to know how? Right? These are some of these magic questions that it gets them thinking, right? Like, oh, well, yeah, well, maybe, why? What do you got? Right? And then you can explain. You can share them a video or whatever it is, okay? These types of magic questions help with that ice breaking, right? To just kind of get in and not have it be threatening, but, it gets people thinking, okay? And then here's the most important thing. Once you've introduced the topic, right? Now you've done that magic question, you've introduced it, you asked them, if they're interested in making more money or saving money or, traveling or whatever it is, okay? Now you need to maintain your position of control. You need to manage the energy, okay? We want the prospect to understand that we are the ones in control, that we're the ones that are going to do this with or without them. We're the one, we have the cookie, right? We have the solution. We have the answer to financial freedom, to saving money, to traveling the world and having fun, right? We have that answer. We have the vehicle. We have something that can get them there. So we are not seeking their approval. We don't need them in our business, right? If they're not the right kind of person. And we need to believe that and understand it, okay? We maintain the position. So if they are skeptical or if they're, rejecting or whatever, again, that's on them. They're the ones that are losing out, right? We don't need to ever beg, okay? And we're going to go through some examples of what I mean by that, because there's always a point in the conversation where the balance of power is defined, okay? This happens when either you or the prospect makes a power move. And typically, it's when the prospect starts to move away, right? They start to be like, I don't know. Oh, that sounds too expensive. That's one of those pyramid things, right? Well, most networkers fall for this, and then they follow the path of losing power instead of maintaining power. Okay, so here's an example. If the prospect were to say, I don't know if I can do this kind of business. Well, the rookie, okay, what was the rookie response? The rookie would say, why not? You know so many people. You would be great for this. Sounds normal, right? Sounds kind of natural. That's what most of it maybe would say, right? But you know what happens? It increases the resistance of the prospect, and you have lost your power because you're giving them the power. You're letting them be the ones in control, okay? So we don't want to do that. All right, let's look at example number 2. The prospect says, I need to think about it. The rookie would say, what is there to think about? Let's go get rich. This is wonderful, right? But can you see there what's happening? You're trying to convince them at this point, right? You're almost to, like you're begging, like, whoa, no, don't leave, don't walk away, please. I need you, right? What's there to think about? No, let's go get rich. But that sounds desperate, okay? So we don't want that either. Example number 3, I need to study it more. And the novice would say, what is there to study? I just showed you the presentation. It's great. Again, right? You're giving them the power. You're giving them the hey, they're right. That, oh, maybe they, whatever, right? So no, we don't want to do that, okay? And example number 4, I need to ask my wife or husband. The rookie would say, no, don't. They're going to say no, and then you're going to put your future at risk, right? In all of these examples, you have lost the power in the conversation, okay? We don't want to do that. So let's talk about power and posture. You always have to maintain posture in this industry. This is when you use your power to give your prospect a different and qualified feeling without being rude, but maintaining that power, right? So let's take a look at some of these same examples, but with answers with power and posture, okay? So example number 1, the prospect says, I don't think I can do this type of business. Well, the expert now would say, you know what, you're probably right. Do you know somebody who has been affected by the economy and who would like to earn some extra money? Whoa, right? Look what you just did there. You maintain power, right? You maintain that posture. You just said, oh yeah, you're right. Yep. Okay, let's see who else, right? You put a fear of loss in them, okay? Fear of loss is, yeah, it's motivating. And that's exactly what you do, right? You're just like, oh yeah, you're probably right. This isn't for you, but hey, who do you know? Who do you know that might want to, save money and make money and, travel the world with us? You know anybody like that? And what does it do? It makes them start to think, wait a second. Oh yeah, I probably have friends and family that would do this. Why not me? And so you've maintained that I have the answer. I have the solution. I have the cookie here. I'm so confident in what I'm doing that if you don't want to do it, okay, I'll go find your friends then. You see what I'm saying? See how you maintain your posture there? Okay. All right. Example number 2, the prospect says, I need to think about it. So an expert with posture says, okay, great. Yeah, take your time. I spend so much time training and coaching people. I don't want to waste my time with people who are not totally sure this is something they want to do. Right? Now, you don't be mean about it, right? Maybe, the tone, right? You just, take a nice tone, but you maintain the posture, right? Yeah, that's great. Take your time, right? I'm busy. I'm training other people. I'm working with other people who are being successful. I'm helping people save money on all these things, and that's great. So take your time. I don't need you, right? Take your time. Go do what you got to do. Study it. Think about it. And when you're ready, come back because we're rocking and rolling, and we'd love to have you, right? See the difference there, right? You're not begging. You're not, on your hands and knees saying, please join my business, right? You're just saying, hey, look what we're doing. This is awesome. And if you don't want to jump on board, well, that's on you, man. Okay, example number 3. I need to study it more. All right, great. We have lots of videos and documents that we have available. I suggest you go look at each one before you decide so you can be sure that this is right for you, right? I work with a lot of people, so we need to make sure this is the type of business that's a fit for you before you start, so we don't waste each other's time. That's great. Go for it. Here, I'm going to send you a bunch of stuff, right? You're maintaining your posture there, right? You're maintaining that I know what I'm doing. I'm confident. I'm 100% sure that this thing is going to work and I'm going to make money with or without you. So, back on you, bud. Decide, are you going to do this or not? Right? I'm doing this without you. Okay. I'd love to have you, but I don't need you. Okay. And then, of course, example number 4, I need to ask my wife or husband. Perfect. That's a great idea. Yeah. Okay. Before I spend a lot of time training you and getting you going, I want to make sure that this is a good option for you and your family. Absolutely. Go talk to them. Right. Bring them to a presentation. Let's get on a call so I can explain it to them as well. Absolutely. Right. We're so sure that what we have is going to work and is a solution and is an answer, that we have the cookie here, that we don't care if they say that, because we're so sure that the spouse is going to say yes too. Right. That's how we present it, with all the confidence and posture that we can muster to show them that there's nothing to be scared of here. Okay. Does it work? Well, perhaps many of you are thinking, but these answers are not going to work to sign them up right in the moment, right? And you know where that comes from? That's a sales thing, right? In sales, those of us that ever did sales, right? And I did sales for a lot of years. In sales, you're trying to get it right then, right? If you've done door-to-door sales, or you worked at a store or whatever, and you're trying to get the sale, it's like, you got to get it, right? You got to get the sale now, because if you don't, if they walk out that door, it's pretty much done, right? It's over. You're not getting that sale ever, right? But with networking, with what we're doing, it's different, okay? This is not sales, right? We don't want to pressure people to sign up just to have them resign the next day. It's not worth it, okay? So yeah, one-time direct bonuses are great, okay? And they're good, but we prefer to have people who are going to stay. They're going to stay with us long-term, so we can have that residual income, right? And because if they have a good experience and they're working it, they're going to give referrals, right? And they're going to, bring their friends and family, and it's just going to be so much better. So no pressure, right? Don't try and just have to get the sale right now. Okay. Let's be networkers. Let's, have the posture, have the security, have the confidence, have all the, the faith in the world that this is going to work, and express it that way, so that they're the ones that feel like they're missing out if they don't jump on board. So in conclusion, we have the cookie. Despite what you may be thinking, these tactics actually do work. And 70% of undecided people actually change their minds and decide. They make the decision to sign up. And when they do, they are already eager and will not be forced, right? And it's so much more likely that they're going to stay and engage. So bottom line, share, share, share. Don't be scared. The more people you share with, the more yeses you're going to get, because we have the cookie. We have the answer. So go and do it every single day. Go back to step 3, set your goal, share, share, share every single day, because you are blessing people's lives, right? We're not trying to leech people. We're trying to bless people. We're trying to help them. We know it. We have an answer. We have a solution that's going to make them and us have a better lifestyle. And that's good for everybody. Okay. So with that, we're going to end. Thanks so much for jumping on, and we will see you next time with step number 8. It's going to be fun. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good Saturday, and we'll see you next on the next one. Bye-bye.